One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing. A beast. She is the truth.
It's intense. Caitlin Clark is off that shit now. She let it all slide the first year. They were pushing her and all that. She's like, you know what?
I'm in here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here. And this is what it's going to be this year.
Caitlin Clark finally stood up for herself. No more staying quiet.
There's hype and then there's impact. Most rookies quietly enter the league, trying to find their footing, earn respect, and adjust to the pace. But Caitlin Clark skipped the slow climb. She burst onto the scene, loud, fearless, and completely composed, from deep three-pointers that felt personal to no-look passes only she could envision. Her presence demanded attention. Caitlin didn't wait for the spotlight, she took it, and one NBA legend noticed. Larry Bird, a man who rarely speaks publicly, sent a message this season clear and unmistakable. He sees Caitlin Clark, and he's not holding back, because what she's doing isn't just impressive, it's historic. When Larry Bird speaks, it matters, especially when it's about someone redefining the game in real time. Caitlin Clark hasn't just arrived. She's transformed the entire landscape of women's basketball. Her games have become must-watch events, earning praise from NBA legends like Bird, Hall of Fame coaches, and former All-Stars. She isn't just starting conversations, she's commanding them, compelling even the most established voices in the sport to take notice. Her impact isn't a moment, it's a movement. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star riding a wave. She's a force of nature, a disruptor, a cultural flashpoint, an athlete who changes the energy in every arena and redefines what's possible each time she steps on the court. Some call her the future. Others already see her as the best show in basketball. But one thing is clear, this isn't just a hot streak, it's history unfolding. Before the stats, the triple-doubles, and the record-setting threes, Caitlin Clark did something few athletes ever do. She made people care, not just fans or media, but the very voices who shaped the narrative of sports. So when Stephen A. Smith, the loudest, most influential voice in basketball media, brings up Caitlin Clark unprompted, it's not just a soundbite, it's a moment, because Smith isn't reacting, he's leading the charge.
I totally applaud what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's putting the WNBA first. She's saying, yo, we matter first to me. We should matter first to the ladies.
This is one of the most outspoken figures in sports media, a man known for being critical, calculated, and unfiltered. And he isn't just defending her, he's celebrating her. Not simply for her scoring, but for something deeper, her priorities. Caitlin isn't just playing basketball, she's elevating it. She walks into press conferences and makes it clear women's basketball isn't the undercard. It's the main event, and she's delivering that message with poise and conviction. With every shot, every pass, every quote, she shows she's not just in it for herself, she's here to lift the entire league. The NBA media sees it, and gradually, so does the world. When comparisons to Magic Johnson start flying, it's not just flattery, it's a crowning moment. Magic knows what it means to be more than just a star. He didn't just dazzle with his passes or charm with his smile, he transformed how the NBA looked, how it played, and how it was perceived. So, when Magic looks at Caitlin Clark and says she's doing something similar, that's not just admiration, that's legacy-level respect.
Joy, I love it because, to your point, they dominated in college. And
as you both did.
Yes. And then they brought it over to the WNBA, just like we brought it to the NBA. We changed the NBA. They changed the WNBA.
Yeah.
This isn't just a Hall of Famer praising her skills, it's Magic Johnson placing her impact alongside what he and Larry Bird did for the NBA. That's not something you say lightly. Magic sees how Caitlin's game draws attention, how she wears the spotlight like it's part of her uniform, how she's helping turn a league into a movement. She's not only lifting her team, she's lifting the entire women's basketball ecosystem. More fans, more visibility, more revenue, and the momentum the league desperately needs. When Magic Johnson draws a line from what Caitlin's doing now to the revolution of the NBA in the 1980s, that's not just approval, it's history recognizing history in the making. And what do you do when one of the greatest coaches in basketball history says he wishes he could coach you? You listen. Coach K isn't just a Hall of Famer, he's the gold standard. 5 national championships, 3 Olympic golds, more NBA lottery picks than most programs have wins. He's coached LeBron, Kobe, KD, Curry, and now, watching Caitlin Clark, he sees something rare. Something extraordinary, something he would have built a team around.
Yeah, well, she's terrific, and it'd be easy to build someone because she's very young. The best thing she does is pass. She's a magical passer, and she has a great feel for the game. So, I mean, what her coach did, I would have done exactly what she did. Make sure she handles the ball a lot, and she'll make everybody better.
The scoring speaks for itself. The logo range threes are everywhere. But what Coach K focuses on is her passing, her feel for the game, her ability to control the tempo without forcing plays. He calls her a magical passer, and that word matters. It's not just about assists, it's about vision, timing, anticipation. The kind of things that don't show up on a box score but win championships. Caitlin doesn't just make the right play, she sees it before it unfolds. She doesn't just run the offense, she elevates everyone in it. And when a coach who's worked with the greatest basketball minds alive says, "I would have done exactly what she did," that's not just praise, that's endorsement. That's Coach K seeing a leader, a connector, a basketball mind for the ages in a world full of highlight reels, flashy edits, and scripted sound bites, sometimes the shortest. Answers carry the most weight. Luka Doncic MVP candidate, All-NBA mainstay. One of the hardest players in the world to guard, doesn't do speeches. He doesn't talk just to talk. So when he was asked directly who his favorite women's basketball player is, he didn't hesitate. Caitlin Clark. Really? Yeah, that's it. That's all he needed to say. And honestly, that might be the most Luka answer imaginable because real recognizes real. Luka knows what it takes to dominate from day one. To enter the league with pressure strapped to your shoulders and still take control of the game. And when he watches Caitlin Clark, he sees more than talent. He sees command, the kind he plays with. He's not analyzing the WNBA. He's not trying to go viral. He's naming the first player who comes to mind, and that's what makes it powerful. There are 1,000 ways to say someone is great. But when a player like Luka, whose own brilliance is built on feel and instinct, offers that kind of answer, it hits deeper. It tells you Caitlin Clark isn't just popular, she's respected by the elite. Her swagger doesn't just work in college or the WNBA, it resonates with those who dominate at the highest level. In just a few words, Luka let the basketball world know Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star, she's already got the best watching. And you know you've truly broken through when your name is mentioned alongside icons not just in sports but in culture. Colin Cowherd doesn't throw around comparisons for shock value. He crafts narratives. He draws lines between sports and society. So when he lists names like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and Taylor Swift, he's not talking about fame. He's talking about influence, about people who didn't just dominate their field, they redefined it. And then, without hesitation, he adds Caitlin Clark.
Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
This isn't a shot at Angel Reese, it's a spotlight on how rare Caitlin Clark truly is. Phenomena like her don't come around often. They're the kind of athletes who shift television ratings, sell out jerseys, crash ticketing websites, and turn a random Tuesday night game into must-see TV. That's exactly what Caitlin is doing, not just for the WNBA, but for the entire sport. She's not waiting for the league to catch up, she's dragging it into the spotlight herself. So when Colin Cowherd says you belong, in the same breath as Tiger and LeBron, he's not talking about potential, he's talking about presence. Caitlin Clark doesn't just have the spotlight, she is the spotlight. And with that spotlight comes weight. It's not just about attention, it's about how every move, every word, every gesture is scrutinized. Caitlin Clark plays with intensity, that fire is part of what makes her great. But when you become the face of a league, whether officially or not, the target on your back gets bigger. As Michael Thompson points out, the pressure isn't only from opponents, it's baked into the system around her.
Angel Reese is a good player. She's not a phenomenon. Tiger was. LeBron was. Taylor Swift is. Caitlin Clark is.
This is a former NBA champion, the father of a perennial all-star voicing. What many are quietly thinking, Caitlin Clark is under a microscope. The spotlight she's earned doesn't just illuminate, it magnifies. Every play, every reaction, every foul is amplified. And now, the fear of appearing biased is creating actual bias. She's being judged differently, not just by critics, but by officials. Yet, she keeps showing up. Keeps carrying the weight like it's just another part of her warm-up routine. Because when you change the culture, people don't always know how to respond. But Caitlin does. She just keeps hooping. There's analysis, There's commentary, and then there's Jeff Teague, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't perform for clicks. He just tells it straight. So when the topic of Caitlin Clark comes up, he doesn't tiptoe or code switch. He just asks, if we're being real, what does Angel Reese get that Caitlin Clark doesn't? Why would she hate her? He's not stirring drama. He's not pushing a rivalry. He's calling out the unspoken tension, the media-fueled comparisons between two young stars who should be building the future of the game together, not being cast as adversaries in a battle they never asked to join. What Jeff's saying goes deeper than just names. He's exposing a double standard, a narrative that frames every headline as a conflict, and in the middle of it all, Caitlin Clark keeps doing what she's always done, playing her game and taking heat for excelling. Teague isn't criticizing Angel, he's questioning the hate. Why is it that when Caitlin gets well-deserved attention, it feels like someone else must lose? Why is her success so often met with resentment instead of recognition? Because here's the truth, Caitlin Clark isn't being given anything. She's earning it. Every logo 3, every full court dime, every packed arena, that's her doing, and Jeff knows it. That's why he doesn't flinch. He doesn't throw shade. He keeps it real. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who your favorite is. It's about respecting those who shift the game. And Caitlin Clark, she's doing just that. There's always a tipping point in a star's rise when admiration turns to agitation, and the player who once captivated everyone becomes the one everyone wants to beat. For Caitlin Clark, that moment came fast, and as Gilbert Arenas puts it, she didn't just step into the villain role. She owned it.
That flagrant foul that she committed the other day, I thought it was a hard foul. I didn't think it was a flagrant foul, but I think they do that, Dan, because they overreact to everything Caitlin does. Is they don't want to show like they're showing any favoritism to her. So we got to upgrade it to a flagrant foul, because if we don't, then people say, well, we're protecting her by not upgrading it to a flagrant foul. So I think that's why the referees overreacted in that play.
That kind of reaction only happens when you're disrupting the rhythm of the game and the comfort of your opponents. Caitlin Clark isn't trying to blend in, she's trying to win. And sometimes, winning looks like waving off a defender, turning your back after a dagger 3, or playing with a level of confidence that makes people uncomfortable. Gilbert Arenas isn't criticizing it, he's spotlighting it. Because when a player stirs the pot like that and backs it up every single night,